This is a short video to explain step by step on how this app works. This app is related to the US forest health monitoring data and related to the region 1 and region 4. On this picture you can see where are the region 1 and region 4. We have the couple of the tabs, and in the first one, the introduction tab, you can see a very brief information about the project. For example, some of the references that we used and motivation that related to my ChangeLab class that we created the app in that class. So for example, the user can select the area and the histogram and tables, and also some interactive map based on the selected parameter, and then sub-watershed or county level, and then creating some kind of the interactive map. The color of the sub-watershed changes, and you can also find out more information about the specific sub-watershed. And also this is the same thing for fire data, interactive map, that the through years is changed. So this was our motivation. And then this app is also supported by US Forest Service Foresters Protection Program through a federal grant awarded to University of Evansville. So the first step in the starting the analysis is finalizing which region user want to look at, region 1 or region 4, and then lock the region. So the second tab is related to the summary tables, that the first part user should select the area. So whole region, state, US forest or county, and if the state is selected, for example, which states. So northern Idaho, so just northern Idaho in the region 1. And then selecting the year, and then which group, and then creating the table. Creating the table, you can see some DCA groups in the beginning, and then individual DCAs in the following, and some measures. And for this direction, and for example, the changing the year, the criteria about how we determine this increasing and decreasing, some information provided here. User can look at that. And the third tab is related to the disturbance data summary. The first step, selecting the area. By selecting the area here through the filters and also the map. Again, user can select which administrative units, and then which administrative unit again. So for example, if forests is selected, so which forest? So we can select all, or we can select the one specific forest, or several forests, and then creating the map. In creating the map, you can see the 4x4 grid cells here. User can select the couple of the grid cells and then apply the selection. And you can see selected grids and also the table here. Also user can download the data. And or clear the selection and select the another grid cells. And again, apply the selection. Or user maybe wanted to clear selection and select the all grids in the administration unit. And in this case, here only first 10 rows of the selected grid is shows, but user again can download the whole data to see the all grid cells. And the next step is related to the selecting the data. So user can select the DCA groups, or multiple of them, or individual bark beetle, individual defoliator, top host, and host groups, or climate forest groups that the user can select a couple of them. And the time period, the default is 2000 to 2024, but user can change this. And then the analysis started. And the couple of the seconds is needed to complete the summaries, because that created the several plots and tables. But one thing is also in the selected area, the number of the grid cells is also shows up here that user can find out there. Also, we provided the download for each of the plots and the tables in this tab. User can download that if they wanted to use uh, for themselves. Okay, the first one is side-by-side histogram. But since the surveyed area is very large values, because of that we consider the 10% of them, or just y divided by 10, and the others is actual values, and you can see the different kind of the survey area mapped, impacted acre, damage area, and fire burned area. The next plot is the surveyed area and impacted acre, damage acre, and area mapped. And we have the two y-axis. The right hand side is related only the survey area, the actual values, and also y-axis in the left hand side is for area map, damage area, and impacted acre. And we separated them in the separate plots to see the better trend of those parameters. And also in the following, we consider the histogram and the summary tables. And for this survey area, you can see the color is changes because of the 25% change with the prior year. And the following also segmented bar graphs for area mapped, impacted acres, damage area. And in the following is also for fire burned area. And in the summary table, user can find out the sum measures followed by quartiles and some percentiles. And also in the just above the summary table, user can find out how many grids had the non-zero data for area mapped, for impacted acres, and so on. Next step is related to the disturbance data trend. Again, we need to select the area. So the whole region, state, and county, and also, for example, all forests, and then create the map. But for finding the trend, we need to have the larger area. So when user create the map, all of the grids in that area will be selected for following analysis. And again, selecting the data, and then which type of the trend for the damaged acres or for impacted acres, and then analysis. So again, here the whole number of the grids is selected in the whole forests in the region 1, and also we consider that we find out that the 10-year period is appropriate for finding the trend. And in this app, in the current version, only recent 10 years period is considered for finding the trend. So a couple of the plots is created, and for each plot we consider the download the data. Yeah, so for example, the downloading the plots, and also the linear regression is considered for finding the trend, and the comparing the first 5 years and the second 5 years in the 10-year period, and also the summary tables for the trend. So it's not so no trend is determined based on the linear regression, and also the difference between the first half and the second half is strongly different for the selected data and the selected region. Last step is about the non-disturbance data, but for the area that is used in this tab is related to disturbance data summary. So if user want to change the area for this tab, need to come back to the third tab and change the area, and after that come back here and select which data is needed. And for each plot and the table here, the also user can download that. Thank you.